Question A6A taken from your textbook. Fx is given as this, and you're asked to find the remainder where fx is divided by x minus 4. So this part is very simple. All you need to do is to equate this to 0 and find the value of x. Substitute this inside here. Okay, please remember to put brackets when you do this. Okay, otherwise when you press calculator you may make mistake, or the calculator may not know what you want. Alright, now the answer is not necessarily 0 for this kind of question because you're not finding factor or whatever, and the answer that I got is 4. Alright, so please check that you have this same answer. Now the next part, deduce a root of the equation fx equals to x and find the other two roots. Now there are two parts to this question. Let's do the first one. Deduce a root. What does it mean by deduce a root? Root means an answer. That means what is x equals to. So because this fx comes from here, okay, if I were to put this fx equals to x, I minus x both sides, everything else remains the same except this term here which we minus 10x. It will still be a cubic equation, so there should be three solutions or three roots when I solve this, right? But they only want you to deduce a root. Then after you have deduced this root, you solve for the other two roots. Okay, so the difficult part is here, how to deduce a root, and deducing this root has something to do with the earlier part. Okay, so let's see how we can do this particular question. You can think about it first, pause and think about it. Okay, so what I do is this. I didn't do anything. Okay, I know already. I was going to show you. Okay, so this first part here, okay, by asking you to find the remainder, I hope you remember that what it means is that my fx, when it's being divided by this divisor, okay, it must be multiplied by another quotient, which I'm not interested in to know what it is, okay, because this is a deduced question. I'm not expected to go and find this out. Alright, I just need to know that this fx, when it's divided by this x minus 4, okay, from the earlier part, there is a remainder, and the remainder is 4. Okay, that's all I need to know. And I am told to solve this, which is fx, so this whole thing is fx, right, equals to x. Now here's the trick. You can see similar things like x, 4 down here, minus 4 down here, 4, right? Okay, so what you need to do is always when you're solving equation, you see, solving an equation, you need to make the right hand side 0. So you minus x both sides, you will get this. This remains the same, nothing has changed here. This will change, but the trick comes here. The trick is here. You have an x minus 4 here, whereas this is 4 minus x. The only difference between these two is the sign. So what I can do, as you learn in lower sec, is to change this sign and then put bracket here, so that everything here can be changed to what you want, x minus 4. Now what's the purpose of changing it to x minus 4? Again, it's something you have learned in lower sec. The only A maths part is this first step, the rest are all E maths, okay? So I take out common factor, x minus 4, and the things that remains are qx, quotient, the original quotient here, whatever it is, I don't know, I don't really bother also. Down here, it's not 0, there's actually a 1 here, so it's minus 1. Now, what I have done is I have very intelligently reconfigured this equation that they're given me, and what this means is that this new equation here, I put a star here, okay? It's a new equation that's been formed by putting an x here, right? Can actually be divided by x minus 4, and the new quotient is the original quotient minus 1. So I can actually change this to a new quotient Q1. Okay, this is a Q, and then I put a square bracket equals 0. Now, what this means is that this equation, the star here, is divisible by x minus 4. That means one of the factor of this is actually x minus 4. Okay? Now, what this means is that, okay, sorry, I ran out of space. Okay, because we want reduce to root, right? So the root is actually the x value, so root is 4. Okay? Because when I equate this to 0, it is 4. Now, once I've found this, then the rest is very standard. I put this here, this equation, this new equation here, right? This new equation, when I minus x both sides, is actually this. Okay? So this is no longer fx. I wrote wrongly. You should let gx. Okay? Because this equation is not the same as the original equation that was given to you. Not fx, but it's another equation which so-called includes a minus x. Okay? So it should be gx. If you don't like, you can use another letter to represent this. And when I compare coefficient, I like to compare the easier coefficient, and that's minus 10. So coefficient minus 10, then I can find the answer. But before that, you got to ask yourself, what times x give you the highest power? And that's 4x squared. Then we settle the lowest power, and that's minus 10. And in between, I put an unknown p, and this is where I compare the coefficient of x. Cannot be this because it will be cubed, cannot be this because it will be squared, so it must be this. That's why it's minus 10x. I don't write the x because I'm only comparing coefficient. And minus 4 times this, which is minus 4p, is my other coefficient of x on this side. Okay, this is the left hand side, this is the right hand side. And when I work out p happens to be 0, okay, is that possible? Yes, absolutely possible, and I can find the answer. So these are the other two roots. So that's the end of the question.